Hello, guys. What is up? It has been a minute since I have done a video for you guys. I'm sorry, like this. I don't know how to not make it do that, but I'm sorry. But it's been that's annoying. Oh my god. But it's been a minute since I've even made a video on this channel, and the main reason I just haven't been inspired to like do art videos and stuff like that. And I was like working on my tiny house, and I kind of went on hiatus for a few months because it was winter time. It got really cold, and I just didn't feel like doing anything. And plus, I want to make like these renovations that are kind of drastic to the house, and I'm just waiting. I was kind of waiting for more people to be able to help me, and I have a few people that's gonna help me during the summer, so that's kind of really why I've been like waiting. I haven't been like working on it, but I'm currently in my art studio. It's unfinished, and like I said, this whole location. I'm gonna shift this over a little bit. There we go. This whole location is temporary. Like tiny houses, like technically temporary living if you think about it, because it's on wheels. You move or whatever you want, but I'm building this to move it somewhere else. So like when it's done and everything's set up, everything comes apart and I could put it in a truck and put it somewhere else. So that's kind of like my idea behind this studio. And also, I had started a second channel. I started it years ago, but I haven't really promoted it on this channel. I don't know if anybody would have been interested in it, but it's called Problematics. It's kind of like more of my personal life and stuff like that, and just me complaining about shit in general. So if you're interested in that, definitely, check it out if you want. I'm gonna leave the link in the description if you want. And I think the third thing, I'm just gonna start just get into this video, but with like my future plans and stuff like that. I think that I made that in my last art cast, like my future plans. I think the problem with me is I just procrastinate way too much, and I just don't get to do what I need to do. So that's just been like a problem with me for like years, honestly, at this point. But I'm trying to work on it and trying to be more productive. I honestly don't. I think like the hardest thing is to just push through with certain things and keep going. But it's been hard. I think as artists and going through your art, it's super hard sometimes, because you look at your stuff and like, oh man, that's not how I want it to look, and like we get super critical on ourselves, and we never really push ourselves to where we would want to be in life. So I think I'm just at like that stage, and it's like I'm not getting younger. I'm 26. I'm about to be 27 in like 5 months. But I'm just like, I'm getting to a point where I'm just okay, like, am I gonna do what I wanted to do with my life? Am I gonna change my career? Do I want to what do I want to pursue? Like, what do I want to do? And it's becoming frequently harder to do those things and really kind of get into like the grind mode. And like I said, not like I said, but it's never too late to really do what you want to do in life. You could be 90 years old. Listen, as long as you're still breathing, do what you want, you know. And I'm definitely still young. It's not like I'm like super deep in life, and I'm still 26. I have a lot of life left, and hopefully I will see that life, because knock on wood, you never know, honestly. But hey, it's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But I think figuring out like what I want to do in terms of with my art, and like, do I want to make comics? Do I want to just make fine art? Do I want to just be a hobby artist, I don't know yet. I think it's super hard to really decipher because like there's life that kind of gets in the way sometimes and puts everything on pause. And that's definitely happened to a lot, especially during the pandemic. We've all been put on pause, like bitch. we got hit with that pause button for like freaking 2+ years, and it's been tough. It hasn't been the easiest, but it's actually like the pandemic started like 2019, I think. No, 2020, 2020, 2021, 2022. It's like close to 3 years, like if we really think about it. But it's just been a lot going on in life, in general. There's just a lot to manage, and I'm just trying to like get myself to the point where I'll be good, and I could just focus on things that I want to focus on, instead of worrying about other people all the time. And I definitely have family members that I'm trying to help, and do certain things that won't really that will kind of like ease my mind, because I think we all have like, if your family isn't like well off, or like not everybody in your family has like super awesome jobs and stuff like that, and people are struggling, that can kind of like put a burden on your mindset. And I wasn't always like that, but it just developed over time, especially like during the pandemic. I really had to like think about a lot of my family, and especially with me working. Not to say I want to financially support like an excessive amount of family member. I don't want to really support anybody but myself, realistically speaking, because that's kind of how it is right now. But I'm still helping other people, and I'm still trying to do my due diligence. But it's still a lot for one person, and it's kind of like that burden where like I don't necessarily have to help, but it's kind of like I should help. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I'm just like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I think like with my tiny house coming along, and I'm estimating maybe by the end of the year it'll definitely be done, or like I'll be using it to like the full potential, because I think the last year, and then like half the year before that, I kind of like I used it, like like I could game in it, like I have my Xbox in it and stuff like that, but it's just not comfortable like where I can like really relax. And I mean, like I've relaxed in it, but like in the back of my head I'm just like, well, there's still things to be done, and like that kind of still lingers in my head a little bit. And not a little bit, it lingers a lot. So I'm just glad that I'm gonna be able to just get everything done this year. Like whatever I gotta do, I'm just gonna get it done, and kind of finish this chapter in my life that I started. And it's not over, like in terms of like would I ever do more buildings and stuff like that. This is something I actually ended up enjoying, and I really like the process. I really enjoyed it, and it was really cool, and I would definitely do it again. I think, if I realistically speaking, I would have went bigger, because originally I wanted a bigger house. But realistically speaking, I don't think that was the best option. I think because I live in Long Island, New York, so it's kind of hard to get places to park. Now there are there are there's definitely places, but I think where I live, I'm kind of more closer to the city. I'm not in the city, but I'm more closer to it, so it's harder to find places. And I think if I want to like go out deep in on the island, like let's say like maybe the Hamptons or I don't know, like Riverhead, or if anybody like knows Long Island like that, or what I'm saying. But those places, definitely when you go out more east on the island, you could find places. I think like when I found this place, I was really lucky because I found it on Let Go, and it was perfect because it's close to where it's like super close to where I know everybody, and I don't have to like commute far to get anywhere, like what I'm saying, like it's near civilization, and it was like a super convenient location, so I had to just take the offer, like the guy, he's kind of charging me a good amount, like it's kind I'm not into paying like the price he's trying to charge me, and for what I'm getting, it's just it's not necessarily a bargain on like space or anything like that, or amenities, because it's really just a yard, like barely a yard, but it's a really convenient location, so that's kind of why I accepted it in the first place. So I wasn't gonna complain too much about that. I was like, all right, it's whatever. I can't, it's gonna be hard to beat this location. So that's kind of why like I'm still here, and I'm not leaving anytime soon. Like I can't leave until like my house is finished, or ideally, well, not necessarily finished, but like it has to be to a point where I want it to be moved. Like I don't want to move it yet because it's just too much of a hassle right now, and I think when I want to move, when I decide to move it, I want it to be moved like to a more final location. Not to say that I would live, the next place I'm gonna move is to like where I'm gonna live forever or something like that. But I definitely want to move somewhere where I could probably stay for like maybe 3, 5 years. I don't want to stay like a certain amount of months or something like that. Like even like here, like I've been here like it's gonna be like 2 years soon. So it's been a minute since I've been here. So ideally, when I move again, which I will, because this isn't like my favorite location. It's not like okay. So I think in terms of this, where it's at, the house and everything, it's really private. So I like that, but it's not super expensive, but it's not something that I feel like for what I'm getting, I could get better deals for what I'm getting. Just how I feel about it. But at the same time, I'm just near everybody to the point of convenience where I'm just like, well, I could put up with it for a little bit more. Like it's not like I'm in the middle of nowhere and I gotta drive like hours to see like my family and stuff like that. Like everybody's super close and stuff like that. So I don't have to like do a lot of gas mileage on my car and things like that if I want to see people, and if I want people to help me. Like everybody's like within reasonable distance to where like if I'm like, hey, like can you come pull up or something like that, they'll come, and so that's kind of really why I had like put up with this location. But Ideally, because it's still a small space. So ideally, I kind of want to move on a farm. I think that's kind of like my dream place, or like a nice, kind of like a forested backyard or something like that, where I could, have like my deck and my little studio to the side of the house, and my garden and things like that. And I'm gonna give you guys a garden tour. I'm gonna show you guys soon, like when the plants are like more alive. But I think I can give like a tour like soon, like maybe like this week I'll record a video and show you guys. But definitely we could do a garden tour. Sometimes I feel like the landlord would like pull up, like, cause sometimes he asks me, like, if I have certain stuff in the way, he'll be like, "Oh, you need to move your stuff." I'm like, yeah, okay. But yeah, I could definitely do like a garden tour and just show you guys like what I've been growing. I've like accumulated a lot of plants, and I'm really excited, like especially like with the plants, because like my landlord always asks me, he's like, "You have a lot of plants," and it's kind of like small talk bullshit. I'm just like, "Yeah, I do," like, and he's like, "Are you trying to grow a nursery or something?" Like small talk. Sometimes I'm just like, here's the rent money, bye. But I guess it's a courtesy thing. But I have accumulated a lot of plants over the last, I want to say like year and a half, and they're all in containers because I can't grow anything. There's dirt in certain areas, but I'm not growing anything to like put dirt like that. Not here, anyways, because that would just signify setting roots, and I'm not into setting roots in this location. But I've accumulated a lot, so I think you guys would be really interested in a tour of like the plants and like the garden, and like you maybe see like the layout of my space, of how it's going. So definitely I will have a few of those videos out soon, because I have ideas for videos that I want to make on this channel. And also, what else was gonna get into? Because this video wasn't really like, I don't know how long I want to make this video, honestly speaking. But I'll make it as long as I need to make it. Maybe like 30 minutes. I'll probably do like 2 sketches. Yeah, I'll do 2, and then however long that takes, we'll see. So with I think, okay, so I kind of got into okay, so I talked about my house. I talked about my art and where I've been. I don't know if I talked about inspiration, because this is a re-recording, because I felt like I talked way too much in the first one, and I didn't like establish anything. So I think with my I'm gonna talk. Okay, so like I'm gonna talk about like inspiration and my future plans in like more detail. So maybe you guys, if you guys are, whoever's interested, and and to whoever wants like advice for certain stuff, this would probably be like the segment, because I could definitely tell y'all where I went wrong. And I think when I lost motivation to make art, I just I kind of just fell into like this deep pattern. Like I would just play a lot of video games. I would just focus on like guys and focus on dating and not really focusing on myself. So I think I kind of lost myself a little bit. And work too. Oh my god, work. Jeez. Work was definitely like one of the main factors of like why I just fell off hard. I just fell off super hard, and I just never came back from that. I just became really stressed. Super stressed for no reason. Well, there was a reason, but you know, don't want to get into like too many details. But when I lost my inspiration, I think the main reason I kind of just fell off was because everything just became overwhelming, like so quick, so fast. Like literally, there is no paint coming out of this. Okay, so this is dried up, so I can't even use this. Literally everything just became overwhelming so fast, and everything just became super hard to keep up with. And I'm making changes in my life to just make a difference to what I'm doing, because I just don't want to repeat the same things over and over again. I'm tired of like being a life repeater. But I've changed like a lot of trajectories in my job. I got a new job. I mean, it's always the same thing, making cakes, because that's just what pays, you know, for me anyways. And I hopefully like somebody was inquiring about a position, and they offered a decent amount of money, like and I feel like my new job like offered a decent rate, but they offered an even more decent rate. So I'm kind of hoping that they're gonna call back. If they don't, I'm not gonna sweat it, because I still have a job, you know, say like my bills still get paid and X, Y, and Z. So I'm not gonna be pressed about it. But it was really nice to to hear the number, and I was like, oh wow, like that's a cute coin if that's you wanted to pay me. So I'm just trying to change like my job trajectory, and I don't want to overwork myself, and I don't want to lose focus on what I want out of life, because you only have so much time left. You only have so much time on this planet, and the last thing you want to do is just spend it doing things you didn't want to do. Is that a glare? Yeah, I don't know where this light's coming from. Oh, okay, it's coming from like it's coming from over there. So this was the first sketch. I'm trying to show you guys properly. So yeah. So I'm gonna put this over here. And we're gonna do one more, and then we're just gonna end this video here, and then I'm kind of gonna really map out how I'm gonna do these videos. I'm gonna probably put something like, there's like a black section here, because I don't know how to properly work OBS, so I'm just kind of like, we're kind of just winging it as we go, to be honest. So I'm gonna put this here to dry. Actually, hold on. Oh my god. There we go. And I'm gonna damp up certain areas of this. Okay. All right. So last one. Then we gonna end this video. But yeah, like the last thing you want to do with your life is do everything you did want to do for a super extended long period of time. And I'm coming to a realization. I don't know necessarily how I wanna okay, so I'm gonna do a different angle. I'm gonna do it from here. Cause these are kinda all like self portraits. Like I should draw less hair because I have less hair because I'm balding. But the last thing you want to do with your life is do a whole bunch of shit that you don't want to do. And I just got to a point where I'm just like, wow, like I wasted a lot of time, especially at work. When I tell you like I wasted so much time because I was, I'm not necessarily saying I was in like a get a bag mentality. I'm not necessarily like that. Granted, I'm always looking for opportunity to make more money, and sometimes I it feels like you're in a good opportunity, so you don't always look for better ones. But I kind of found myself in a toxic work situation for a few years, and I never really spoken about it because it was like between people that I knew, so it wasn't really something that I didn't really I didn't know how to get out of it, honestly, because it was, well, I'm getting paid, well, I'm getting this, so I should stay. And realistically, I should have left because I was so unhappy. And honestly, I think there's like definitely things I could blame like the employer for. Definitely a lot, but it kind of boils down to me though. And I'm gonna say that because I chose to stay, and and there's definitely times I've left or like changed my hours and stuff like that. But I think realistically, I should have just had moved on with my life. And I'm at that point where if it's not serving me anything, or if it's like really stressful and it's really taking up a lot of my energy and my being, I don't want to do it because it's not worth it in the long run if you're just unhappy all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then that's just something I had to like really take into consideration. Like, wow, like I'm not happy. I'm really miserable. I really hate this shit. Like I can't keep doing this for a check. So I just had to come to the realization of to stop doing what I had to do there, and it kind of sucks, but at the same time, it needs like things need to happen. Like you have to come to like these realizations that something isn't working, and you need to reevaluate your plans and change up like your strategies and things like that if something's not working. So I had to really there's a bee in here, y'all. I had to really learn how to let go of things when it's not working, or when like if I get like the gut feeling, like I've always, because that's your intuition. When you get that gut feeling, like, oh, I don't know about this X, Y, and Z, that's your gut feeling. 9 times out of 10, you probably should follow it. Because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times when I had a gut feeling and I didn't follow it, I ended up being mad because I didn't follow my gut feeling. Like it's the most it's like the most ironic thing ever. Because like your body's telling you like, yo, like this isn't the math isn't mathing here. Like you're not, this is hurting you, or this isn't or like this isn't sitting well on your conscience, and and when you don't follow that, and then when things go exactly how your gut feeling was kind of describing it, and sometimes you don't know exactly like why you're getting that gut feeling, or like you don't, but I feel like when if you get it, or you start to get like super superstitious of like a situation, follow that feeling, look into it, and sometimes it could be nothing, or you could just be like overthinking things. But I know like when I had the feelings, it always ended up with me following through with it later on. I might not have followed through with it at first, but later on I realized, yeah, I should have had done that. And then there's times like in the moment I've had like gut feelings, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta say something, or I have to do something about this, and I have no regrets. No regrets. So I think just me learning how to just understand myself more, and kind of, bro, this bee's annoying. So me learning how to just navigate myself and process things for a better understanding, and just overall, doing things for me, and not for other people, is kind of like the direction I'm trying to take myself, because I feel like I'm very I don't want to be like I'm an empath, and I feel everybody's feelings and things like that, but I have a hard time letting go of things. I really do. And I think that's why I kind of like stay at jobs too long when it's overdue, that I should have left. This bee will not stop harassing me. But I'm trying to like learn to move past that. And even with like this, when I was speaking to somebody about a job position, and this was yesterday, I was still trying to figure out like, okay, like, but can I like work two jobs? You know what I'm saying? I was still trying to like hold on to this other job that I just got, and I'm like, yes, I do like the people, but I was just like, well, like the money, and like there's certain things that I don't necessarily like to rush into. Like I feel like new jobs can be tricky. Like you don't know what kind of environment you're gonna throw yourself into. Because I like the environment of my new job. I do. I think everybody's chill. Everybody's respectful. Nobody really gives me any problems and things like that. So I'm hesitant, because I can recall like my last couple of jobs. I've had issues with people, and sometimes it's like miscommunication, and sometimes it's just like people are just like being malicious towards me, and I just don't want to deal with that. So like, yes, I like that the new offer, but at the same time I'm just like, well, what's the environment like? Like, is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, the money is cute, but shit, like, am I gonna be stressed 24/7? Like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want that headache on me. You know what I'm saying? Over just an extra couple of dollars an hour. Like, it just I don't know. It just doesn't seem. It's risky. Like, it could be really good situation. Like, yeah, it works out, and everything worked well, and then it could be like, yo, like, I fucking hate this shit. I need to look for a new job. Da da da. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. You never know. You really never know. Like, uh, but it's just a part of navigating life, I guess, and just making decisions. Because I'm not. I think financially speaking, I'm not struggling or anything like that. Like, I've definitely had like good jobs, and like, even even things I did like for less than a year that really held me down and allowed me to save my money up. And even during the pandemic, I was able to get like the unemployment and save money from that because my job actually, because my job they switched companies. Well, they got bought out. They got bought out, and I was able to get unemployment because of that. Because I was technically laid off. Technically, because they wanted to keep me, but I was like, nah, y'all, like, let me go. I don't want no more. That was my opportunity to leave. That was my opportunity. I took it, and learning because initially they were like trying to keep me, and I was just like, y'all, like, I don't want to stay here. Like, I'm good. Like, I'll figure it out. And the unemployment was looking real good during the pandemic. And I got it during the end, so I wasn't really even able to save like a lot of money off of it. But I was able to like save a significant amount. And plus, like I've always been somebody that worked multiple jobs and stuff like that to make sure like I can take care of myself, even in like the worst situations, or like if I lose my job or whatever the case may be, like I'll still have rent money for a certain amount of time and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be good. So, yeah. I think this is kind of going to be the end of the video. And I think overall, my overall message of this video, which is kind of just do you, bro. Do you, sis. Don't let things stop you. If you want to do something, you got to do something about it. And that's from Inventing Anna. Anna said she was going to get that money, and she said any means necessary. Now, I'm not saying do any means necessary, y'all. I'm just saying, because it was a saying in the show, like, if you watch Inventing Anna, which is really good, like, watch it. Definitely, I liked it. It really intrigued me, knowing how far people would go. But there was like a scene in the show where like it was like the boyfriend was talking to one of the girls in the show, and he's like the only difference, the only thing I like about what Anna's doing is that she's doing something about her business. Granted, it wasn't the best way legally or the most geez, I forgot the word, but like, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like the most there we go, it wasn't the most ethical way to get to where she wanted to go, but shit, she was trying. And I think that's a lot of issues that we face. Like, we have like big dreams for ourselves, but then we let life get in the way, and then we make up excuses, and then we never really establish anything with ourselves, because we just let so many things get in the way, and we like, oh yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna do it, and today or next week I'm gonna do this and X, Y, and Z, and then you never get to it because you keep pushing it back and back and back and back and back. And I'm trying to take myself out of that state of mind, so I'm definitely gonna try to do more. If anything, like I'll do like a speed paint or something like that, maybe with some music. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna try to get into like the groove of like what I want to get this channel to. I want to do more building things. I like building, so I'm actually gonna build like a shed, a portable shed, because I have a lot of things that need to be placed. I have things in here that just needs to go in a shed. Like, this technically could be a shed / art studio / greenhouse, but I just like this as my art space right now. I don't necessarily want it to be congested with all these things. I want to be able to come in and start working right away. So I'm kind of just working on that for now. And yeah, so like, if you guys watch to the end of the video, thank you guys for watching. If you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments below. And I think that's gonna be it for the video. yeah, so deuces.